I'd like to talk a little bit about ovarian cancer because there's been some reports of ovarian cancer being caused by asbestos. And you'll see these headlines on the internet. IRAC study links asbestos exposure to ovarian cancers, a startling new study. And you may have read some of these headlines. Here is the ADAO, the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization, again talking about new evidence related to ovarian cancers. And Dr. Lemon, who attended the IRAC meeting earlier this year, where they announced that ovarian cancer is caused by asbestos. IRAC is part of the World Health Organization. He said there's new findings, that there is sufficient evidence that asbestos causes ovarian cancer and will have far-reaching implications. So what is the new evidence that asbestos causes ovarian cancer? Well, this is the IRAC special report that came out earlier this year. And they have a chart, which you can't see, but I've summarized it here. And they had two columns. The column on the right are cancers that there still is not sufficient evidence to link to asbestos. Not sufficient, just limited. But if you look to the left, you see the cancers where there are sufficient evidence. Mesothelioma, lung cancer, laryngeal, and now they include ovary. Now for laryngeal, the larynx, IRAC cited to this blue ribbon panel that issued a very detailed report back in 2006. It was the Institute of Medicine. They're part of the National Academy of Sciences. And in this very lengthy 226-page report by this blue ribbon panel, they did conclude that laryngeal is caused by asbestos. It's one of the causes. But they didn't even discuss ovarian. It didn't even rise to the level of a mention. So what is the new evidence? Well, if you go to the IRAC report, there are the two footnotes that they cite for ovarian cancer. One is the Atchison study, from 1982, 27 years ago. That's not new. And that study, by the way, by Atchison found that only amprobol exposure, not chrysotile, but amprobol, had an increased relative risk for people with ovarian cancer. And the Heller study, which found that they found asbestos in ovaries. So there's no new evidence that I'm aware of that ovarian cancer is caused by asbestos. Dr. Rogley's textbook said that peritoneal mesothelioma and ovarian cancer can look very much the same, and the diagnosis can be confused. And that is at least as likely that ovarian cancer is due to a misdiagnosis when people allege it's caused by asbestos. So here are the problems. One, there's no new study. IRAC cited old studies. Number two, the 2006 Blue Ribbon Panel didn't even talk about ovarian cancer. Three, the diagnosis is often confused with peritoneal. And finally, the prior studies, they find increased asbestos bodies in women who have no occupational exposure to asbestos and no household exposure from their husbands or from their fathers. And we don't know, the scientists don't know where that comes from. Is it from the natural environment? Is it from the use of talcum powders, which, as many people know, the talc was contaminated with tremolite? Or condoms contain talc? So the evidence is limited but not sufficient from the defense point of view to link ovarian cancer.